We're going to bring in Andy Swan, the co-founder of LikeFolio.com. Good morning, Andy.
Hey, good to see you.
Good to see you too, Andy. Now we're talking Canada Goose. We've had a lot of discussions in the office about this particular company, but the stock's run into some problems here. What is your data at LikeFolio showing us on Canada Goose?
Yeah, one of the reasons I wanted to bring up Canada Goose is because when we look at companies like this, we're talking about an extremely seasonal company, right? So they sell very high-end, kind of extreme weather jackets that sell very well when the weather is cold and around the holidays, and not so much in the summer. And you can see that from our consumer purchase intent mentions, which is people talking on social media about buying the products that Canada Goose makes. But what we see, one of the ways we like to look at our data is actually midway through a quarter, midway through a busy season, we can kind of get an idea of how the company's tracking. And so we do that by, in the LikeFolio dashboard, we're able to do that by comparing where the purchase intent mentions are at this point in the busy season, so December 10th, December 11th, compared to where they were in the prior year, December 10th, December 11th. And this year we see a nice little increase. Not as much as we saw between 2017 and 2018, but still a nice little increase that tells us that that Canada Goose is probably selling more coats and jackets than they did last year, which, you know, as you guys know, when you talk about an extremely important heavy revenue season in a seasonal business like that, it can be quite illuminating to see how the company is tracking midway through a very important season.
Andy, you're talking about a high price point here, one of the highest, yeah. Right? I mean, with everything with Patagonia and all these other brands, Columbia, that are all in this business of heavy coats and the new technology with coats. I mean, these coats are warm. I was joking that I have a Patagonia coat that I can't put on in the car because it makes me so warm.
Right.
I mean, is this more indicative of the strong economy that people are going for the higher price points here?
Yeah, I think so. And so that's one of the reasons I think it's important to look to do these kind of mid-quarter checks on the trajectory of this seasonality, because, you know, what's happening right now is the result of the strong economy of 2018. Now you're starting to see some, you know, cracks in the armor, I guess you could say, in terms of the stock market, at least, and what it's forecasting. And do we start to see that on these high-end items? You know, we look at Tiffany's, we look at, you know, Canada Goose, a great example. We look at these companies as kind of luxuries. You know, no one needs a $950 coat. Probably the $350 coat is going to do you just as well. But when times are good, we get a little frothy, and when times start to pull back, you know, we start to see the other way. And so with Canada Goose, just seeing that so far consumers are liking the coats and buying the coats at a faster pace than they were a year ago, at least tells us up through now the consumer at that high price point is remaining somewhat strong.